Hey everyone, how's it going? Uh, I titled this Your Future Self. In these amazing times of, let's say, in the least, the super consciousness being expanded and developed, also what we refer to as the Christ consciousness, which is actually the higher genius and intelligence of humanity as well. So, as many of you know, uh, many of us, all of us actually, anyone watching this, you are evolving uh, internally at this time. And it's to do with consciousness and also the rewiring of the brain, the opening of your right frontal lobe, the right hemisphere of the brain that has not been used much in the past. It's only been accessed at times of creativity and when entering the more spiritual aspects of even psychology. So my lingo with this will go back and forth from a 3D to a 5D perspective. And a 3D, of course, three dimensional, uh, 5D, fifth dimensional. And also, because of that, the fifth dimensional consciousness is an awakened consciousness. It is a super consciousness. It's when one is more in tune with their parapsychological gifts, the ESP, their creation abilities, their manifestation abilities, their spiritual gifts, their divine gifts, many names and many labels that you can use to identify what's going on. So that is the 5D. What I wish to call the 3D is a one that is not awakened to these gifts and that is, let's say, just living in a world that they're what they see with their physical visual eyes is just a they believe that that is all that there is and that they are just human. So there is quite a contrast between a 3D perspective and perception and way of being and a 5D, uh, as we all know. So in these great times, in the most auspicious, unprecedented times upon, um, you could say, planet Earth. I refer to her as Gaia. She is a sentient being that all of us are actually connected to. When you get down to the real truth. However, we don't need to go there. So, this is about your future self. And with this ascension and all of you becoming increasingly empowered day by day, there's many new gifts that you are uh, turning on that are getting activated within you, and that's part of the evolution as well of humanity to the super conscious, but also to the super state of being. Now, one aspect, and of course, uh, this is not for all at this time. However, it does pertain to many of you, and you can access it. And it's I wish to say with this that um, during my angelic tutoring and being briefed on everything upon the surface with my abrupt awakening, uh, DL Zeta or DL Zeta. So DL and her last name Zeta, and you may wish to look her up. When I was awakened, I was directed to watch certain things that she was putting out as a channeler. And one of the most important things that she had mentioned was her was a future self. Now, this idea is very real, and actually, many of us access this, but unbeknownst to you. Your future self is also connected with your intuition, if you will. So, your future self can be an aspect of your intuition. For example, if you feel to go somewhere or not to go somewhere, that is actually what you could call your future self already knows what happens. So it will tell you, don't go there. You don't need to get into that or have whatever experience may transpire. And also, on the positive side of it, your intuition may say, I should go there. For example, maybe you're told you should go to the park today and you feel that. And you go to the park and let's say you meet someone very special and you have quite a magical day. So, again, everyone knows to follow your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. And it's so important in these times to listen to your intuition. It is, as you know, it's connected to your heart, and your heart is the most powerful electrical brain, if you will, that you have. It's many times more powerful than your brain, and actually, your heart is the center of all of your power. So, again, having said that, the future self is an aspect of your intuition. Now, the ways that you may utilize this to assist you in this now is that, again, I need to reiterate that you are not constant in time nor space. Also, you exist for all time. So, to be able to comprehend um, what I am saying, you need to integrate that knowing that you actually transcend time, that time is not constant for you. Now, mostly in your past life, you have been living in what we refer to as linear time, where it is a constant time. But linear time is associated with the lower dimensions. And for example, 3D, I wish to call it 4D. There is no more 3D left because of what has transpired and for what is allowing these unprecedented times in your reality and also the ascension. In reality, 3D no longer exists. And it no longer exists because the properties, physical properties of a 3D reality are are enhanced. They are no longer like they were. So therefore, I use 4D because it's also in alignment with many of you enhancing your divine gifts and your divine abilities. And also, let's just quickly jump to the empath ability and heightened sensations, which are everly growing in this now. And it's also, from a 3D perspective, you had, when you were there, limited empathic abilities, limited sensations. However, what has occurred is that now your sensations and your abilities have strengthened and you're more in tune with reality, and reality exists because of energy. So you're being introduced to more of what you actually are. Um, for example, in 3D, you were just mostly organic. Now in 4D and 5D, you are a combination of organic and electrical, energetically. So it is quite a contrast from then, and really no comparison. So, with your future self, because there is no time for you and you can transcend space and time, then that also means that you can look into the futures. And when you're asleep in the night, if you will, your consciousness does not sleep. It's forever exploring uh, and also doing divine work. So you go ahead in the futures, you go into the past in energetic form, and you um, do look at things, and perhaps some things are done out of amusement for the soul and the consciousness, but also there are other things that are divinely done when you are sleeping, as many of you can identify with. And also, many of you know this is true for when you come out of your sleep state during the night. You may have been had what you would call dreams that actually occur, in this now. Also, your deja vu is also connected to it as well. And your deja vu is also connected to your future self. So, what you're seeing is that a future self is actually connected to more than one thing, your intuition. It's connected to your memories, and it's also connected to your deja vu experience. Most auspicious time for the divine ones like you and I, of course. What has been occurring is that we have been doing much work as creators in the dream state as well as in the awakened state. And what occurs is that because time does not exist for us and we transcend it, uh, during our dream state, what we do is get together and we write the script for our day. But it's in accordance with the divine plan as well in this ascension. And the reason why this is occurring now, why you are allowed to know this, is because we are ascending out of a humanoid existence. We are much more than just human, and you are being given marginally your memory back of other existences, but in the least that you exist for all time and that you are here. Um, you do have a purpose. You are on a divine mission, and you are part of the great change, and you are part of the ascension. So, with the going back to the future self, it's an important aspect so that when you're, let's say, trying to make a divine decision on something, what you can do, and you do this mentally, is you can, once you imagine that you have a future self, and once you believe it, and once you create it, and that you began practicing with it, then you develop that you send out. And this can become very invaluable in doing your divine work now and also in the future. So, with your future self, what you can do with your potential and future possibility, future. So, you can actually create your reality more efficiently and more divinely and in line with the divine plan. As we know, the divine plan is everything virtuous and it's of the pure of the heart, and it is also the full truth. So when you are performing your purpose here while in human form or your mission, you wish to be as most efficient and beneficial as you can. And one of the things that comes up is with ones, they begin to what their intuition may say, or also some of their thoughts, or with a future self, you can actually utilize it. You can put yourself in the moment and say, okay, I may do this on Tuesday. And if I do it, I want to see the maximum effect that it can have. So I'll just sit here. I will send out mentally a few, and when it reports, I will know. So you just keep open, you send it out, you go about your business on Monday, whatever you may be doing, and you can mentally check in with your future self, perhaps after hear from that future self and check in and see what sort of information that you are getting back. Now, phone and calling your future self, although you can do that, but what occurs is that it's best just with the consciousness, just being open as a receiver to your future self always. So, for example, you might be going and pick up your coat, and a thought comes in that is connected to the future, and you will begin to recognize that. So, it doesn't come as an exact message the way that you're used to receiving human messages. It actually comes as a sensation, a feeling, and it can also come as a thought. So your future self can be a very valuable guidance mechanism as well. So you're being given the ability while being awake during the day in a human form to project an aspect of you into the near futures. So you are able to do this, and again, this is to inform you a little bit more of your abilities and perhaps another tool that you can utilize in doing your divine work. So, so having said all of that, more or less, this is an introduction to the future self aspect, which is very real, and you can create it for yourself. You can have also fun with it. And it's also very possible because of remote viewing, which is your abilities. It's sort of the same as well. So you can interface or link your remote viewing to your future self. Now, this is up to each individual how you wish to progress it, how you wish to utilize it. But I will say all of these divine gifts can only be used in um, genuine ways, of course. So you do have this aspect, and you can have fun with it. And as I said, it can be very beneficial for you and all of us. Um, you are more enabled to make more refined decisions that are in accordance with the divine plan, meaning that then you can streamline your path, your mission here, instead of questioning, getting off over here or over here on pit stops and stagnating, demonstrating the rising of the frequencies and vibrations. Because when we have everyone in line with this, the vibration overall of our reality increases. And as the vibration keeps increasing, because everything is energy, you also come into more of your gifts and your creator powers. So, for everyone, and for a lot of us, we are tired of being here on this divine mission, if you will. And, the sooner that we get it done by accessing all the tools that we are allowed to have in this reality, in this dimension, well, the quicker we get it done. And, in the least we live, the more amazing, harmonious existence here. That is in the least. So it's again, complacency or just sitting and waiting for things to come. You are one to make it come. So there are many things you can do, and let me say it's not really a free ride. Each one has a responsibility to themselves and to the others you are connected to. And as each one, by being responsible, raises their vibration, it has an overall effect on the collective, and it raises us a notch higher. And again, it's so important with your inner work to get rid of any lower density act, reaction, thought, or emotion that is negative. Have no hatred, for it keeps you down. It disempowers you. Have no anger, have no impatience, have no worry, because they keep you down. So when you have none of those, you raise in vibration, you raise in frequency. More of your divine powers and your gifts come because it's all linked energetically and it's all charged. It has a positive charge, your powers. You are not a negative creator. So when you eliminate the negative aspects of yourself, then what you do, you actually empower yourself and you are given more of your creational abilities. So your future self, it is an aspect that you can play with, you can create, and you can have fun with it, but you can also be more efficient at doing your divine work. And, there is more that from your consciousness you'll receive on perhaps how to utilize it. And everyone is correct in what they receive. And there are always many ways of doing something. So I am just giving you a general introduction to it, letting you know that it is there and that you can access it. And however you wish to do that, or your results with it, it'll be great to share with others. We are in the time of a great purveyance, and that is also what advances us by your experiences, the tools you use in your divine work, by sharing them with others. It gets us all there quicker. So nothing is to be concealed. To conceal is to restrict. So again, it's best for everyone to come out of the closet, if you will, and expose your divinity fully. and because that is positive. To conceal is actually negative, and it disempowers you, it restricts you, it hinders you. It's why it's so important to be fully open, for that empowers you and you get in tune in the least with the universal flow of magic and harmony, and your experiences become more joyful and more blissful as you do that. So great. I'll keep this as short as I can. I love you. For any that may be watching this on YouTube, I'm Rick Jors. I'm on Facebook as well. And I have some interesting things sometimes that come out. So much love, all kinds of peace and winks, yes. And I love you, love and light, and have a most amazing day or night, wherever you may be. Bye.